Why don't we get into that a little bit further in terms of, there's this classification of certain cancers that we refer to as like hormone sensitive or
Hmm.
hormone dependent cancers. What
Hmm.
exactly does that mean when someone says this is a hormone dependent cancer, or what are the different types of hormone dependent cancers? If you could just educate us more on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the hormone dependent cancers are basically, and just to be clear, it doesn't mean that the hormones are the only thing stimulating the cancer growth,
Sure.
right? But it does mean that they have certain receptors on their cells for hormones that when they bind, stimulate growth. So we can use estrogen as an example because, 75% of new breast cancer diagnoses are estrogen positive, which means they do have these receptors where estrogen will stimulate their growth. So breast is probably the most common cancer that we think of as hormone dependent, but it's not the only one. Prostate too, not so much with estrogen, but with androgens, right? To some degree, testicular cancer as well. And also ovarian and endometrium have some stimulus from hormones as well. So the basic understanding here is that when estrogen binds to any cell, like even to healthy cells, right? What estrogen does is it tells that cell to divide and grow. And that could be a very good thing, right? If that's your heart, that's your brain, that's your bones, it could be very helpful to your health. But when it does that to a cell that's already become cancerous, now it's telling it to grow and divide. So if there's a lot of estrogen in the system, a lot of estrogen binding to those cancer cells, it's going to create too much growth. So from a conventional perspective, the idea is like, well, we need to shut that off, right? Like we need to turn off that hormone stimulus so that the cancer will stop dividing. And it is helpful, but it's never like the only reason that somebody has cancer, right? So it's always a bit more complicated than that. So what I like to do, and I know that you use this in your practice as well too, is I like to use testing to help us actually look at what's happening hormonally for you. What is going on? And we can do this two ways. We can use DNA testing to get a sense of just like your genetic potential for estrogen dominance or estrogen toxicity. And then we can also look at a Dutch panel, right, and see what is actually happening. And that will give us way more information about controlling that estrogen stimulus if that's part of the problem for you.